Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel, and hi if you're new here, I'm Jade, and today I want to do a bit of a book decluttering, reorganization, just kind of clear everything out a little bit. I've just been really feeling the need to declutter, and unfortunately that does include some books because I have way too many. I don't have that many shelves, unfortunately, just because I have like a sloped ceiling in this office space, so I can't buy like tall bookshelves. So I only have the two like smaller ones. You can see one behind me as size, and I don't mind storing some in my basement and things like that of like other books I love because there's going to be plenty more than I want to keep than that's on the two shelves. But I am like, I should get rid of some, especially if they're ones I just know that I'll never ever desire at all to read again if I don't really like them. I'm a little bit of a hoarder because I have a dream that one day I'll have some massive library, but I think realistically, if I don't like the book, I should probably get rid of it. And also, as you know, I have a ridiculous amount of books on my TBR. And I always say everything ended up there for a reason, and so I don't want to get rid of any, and that's kind of true, but I am thinking I should try and get rid of some that have sat there for a long time and I just haven't reached for. Probably more likely ones people gifted me, thinking I'll like them, that I maybe wouldn't have gone for. And I'm like, even if I can just bring myself to get rid of two or three, it's still something. So I don't think we'll get rid of too many here, but just a sort of a bit of a reorganization, get rid of some that I don't want, maybe drop it off at a free little library. There is only one in my neighborhood, and I've only looked in it one time and it was like rammed full. So I don't know if I'll be able to get rid of everything in there, but maybe I'll take some down there at some point. And I also thought I could just offer like my book clubs if they want to read any of the books that I decide to get rid of. So yeah, I'm starting sitting by the TBR cart because I thought, let's go through it, let's see what I have. Anything that I feel like maybe I'm not going to pick up anytime soon, or I have a real reason why I'm not, then I will show you the books. I'm not going to get rid of these ones straight away as I haven't read them. I'm going to let this video go up and you can tell me if any of them you've read and you're like, no, you need to read this one. So yeah, please let me know, and I'll probably post it on my other socials as well and just say, should I keep these or should I not? So I think last time we counted my TBR, it was saying it's something like 140 something books, which is a little crazy. Obviously, I've read quite a few from that since, but I have also bought new ones. So I do think if I could just reduce it a little bit, that will help. So I'm sat here so we can just go through it. I've got my thriller ones in the cupboard to go through as well. And then we can go down to ones I have read, which are mainly in the basement, and see what I should keep, shouldn't keep. So I have this cart as well as the piles all next to it. So I'm just going to have a little look through, reach for things that maybe I think I might not read so much, and we can talk about them. There aren't going to be many, so don't judge me, because I genuinely do really want to read pretty much all of these. This is one just because I was gifted this and I don't really know it. So maybe like I didn't pick that, so that's a possibility. Most of these others though I have picked myself, or they've been gifted from the author or the publisher, and I don't really want to be rude and get rid of those either. I'm not finding much, guys, I'm not gonna lie. It's just, I really want to read most of these, and I just think they're gonna be things that I do really like, and sometimes I like to pick something that I don't know as well. So like sometimes it's good just to have something that I'm not so aware of. Okay, I've spotted one that can join the list because I'm really torn about it. And I feel like this is the one most people would have read and might have an opinion on whether I keep and read it or not. So yeah, that can join the pile. I don't think there's going to be much else here because most of these are series or ones that I've recently bought, or they're on my TBR for this month. A lot of the ones in this pile, so I don't think, yeah, that I'm gonna want to get rid of many of these at all. Sorry, one of my friends from the UK just called, and obviously I wanted to have a catch up, so I kind of paused where I was and I've just joined back in. So just to show you what I've picked off as like potential get rid of books. I could have been a little harsher maybe, but these are my three so far. We've still got the cupboard to go, but I don't know if there'll be any in there. So the first one I picked up was I Never Promised You a Rose Garden by Joanne Greenberg. Now, this was gifted to me from a friend. just like she was having to clear out and just was like, oh, I think you might like this one. She gave me a few books and this was just one of them. And yeah, I I don't know, like I just never seem to reach for it. It's not actually that long, although the print's quite small. But yeah, it just it does sound really interesting, the plot, but I don't know, I just don't reach for it. And I'm like, am I going to? I don't know. So maybe I should um give it on to someone else who might enjoy the book, in the free little library or something. But this is what the blurb says. It says, enveloped in the dark inner kingdom of her schizophrenia, 16-year-old Deborah is haunted by private tormentors that isolate her from the outside world. With the reluctant and fearful consent of her parents, she enters a mental hospital where she will spend the next 3 years battling to regain her sanity with the help of a gifted psychiatrist. As Deborah struggles towards the possibility of the normal life she and her family hope for, the reader is inexorably drawn into her private suffering and deep determination to confront her demons. A modern classic, I Never Promised You a Rose Garden remains every bit as poignant, gripping, and relevant today as when it was first published. So, like, it does sound super interesting to me, but I don't know why I just keep not reaching for it. So, if any of you have read this, let me know whether I should keep this or not. Or if you're just like, it sounds really good, please read it so you can tell us about it. Let me know in the comments and I will consider keeping it, not getting rid of it. I don't know yet. These are all like maybes, because anything I haven't read is a little bit harder to get rid of. So the next book I was tempted to remove from my TBR is Drop Dead Beautiful by Jackie Collins. Another friend gifted me this one and it sounded really interesting at the time, but she gifted me this one and another one in the series, and I have already read the other one. And I liked the other one, but I didn't love it, so I feel like I just keep not reaching for this other one in the series. I also didn't have like the beginning of the series. I kind of just went in the middle, I think, to whatever random book she had, because I think she'd found these secondhand somewhere at some point. So I don't know if to bother continuing with this one, but just so you can hear the blurb to see what you think, it is Lucky is back with a vengeance, every bit as strong, sexy, and seductive as ever. But Lucky is older and wiser now, and she's hot to reclaim her power position in Las Vegas by building a magnificent billion-dollar hotel complex. Max, Lucky's rebellious teenage daughter, is every bit outrageous as Lucky herself. Max is hard to control, especially when she takes off to rendezvous with a stranger she meets on the internet. While Lucky is busy building her hotel, she is unaware that a deadly enemy from her past has surfaced. A person determined to take everything from her, including the family that she holds so dear. So that's what that one's about. I don't know, just like not having really got into the series, whether that's worth it. But again, if you know it and you think I should, or you're like, actually get all the series, do it, like, let me know. And then the final book that I am considering getting off my TBR is one that I was really eager to read when I was first gifted this. It is To All the Boys I've Loved Before by Jenny Han. However, if you've been with me a while, you'll know I read the Summer I Turned Pretty trilogy last year, and honestly, I wasn't a huge fan of it. So I'm concerned if I didn't enjoy that it's going to be the same with this. I think for me, it was just written a little inconsistently, a little bit too young for me, potentially. I just think the TV show did The Summer I Turned Pretty way better, especially for someone my age. So I'm just a bit concerned with this one. I know this is a movie, I think, and I have been tempted to watch that, but I was like waiting to read it first. But I'm like, maybe I should just do the movie and forget the book. Let me know, because I feel like someone is going to have read this somewhere. So if you have, please let me know about this one, whether you think I should just keep going, whether it's better than the Summer I Turned Pretty trilogy, or if you think if I didn't like them, that I won't like this. So yeah, let me know. So let's go and look in the cupboard and just see. But as I said, I don't think there'll be anything to get rid of. Of course, you open a cupboard and the cat loves going in there. But just stored in here, just squeezed in, ignore the mess, are a few books. They are ones of series I want to continue. So obviously, though, those won't be going anywhere. And then there's some sort of like thrillers and other books in here. So there is a second pile. So I'm going to have a quick search through and see, but I don't feel like I have that many thrillers and that I'm going to want to get rid of any, but yeah, we'll see. But this is kind of the rest of the back pile. As with these, I don't know. The Martina Cole one, I'm a little bit on the fence. I know she's like a hugely popular author, but I've owned that for years and I just never reach for it. Everything else is reasonably on the new side, I would say, within the past couple of years, and with how much I read and buy, and that's not bad. But I want to say the Martina Cole book I've probably owned for about 6-7 years, which is terrible because I always heard she was good. I'll add the Martina Cole one to the pile and we'll see. So yeah, I'm going to add the Martina Cole book to the pile, but I do think I'm leaning towards keeping this. But I wouldn't mind your opinions on her. If you just think, yeah, she's not worth it, tell me. Because I feel like I bought this for a reason, because I really wanted to try one of her books because she's such a huge author, and I just never got around to it, and that's why I bought this. But maybe it's the wrong book to start with. If you know more about her, let me know. So that's 4 books potentially to declutter from my TBR directly, so ones that I haven't read, which, as I said, like, isn't a lot, but I genuinely do want to read like all the books I have. Like, I really do get everything for a reason generally. um it's just the top 3 were all gifted ones that maybe I wouldn't have reached and bought myself, and then the bottom one is just one that I just don't seem to reach for, but I think I might end up keeping that one. And then honestly, aside from that, it's kind of looking at my bookshelves, but I don't think I'm going to get rid of any that I have on display, because I obviously like them all for a reason. And sometimes I do think, oh, I'm probably not going to read them again. But like I said, I do kind of have dreams of having a library, and I'm like, if I enjoyed the book, I just don't think I want to get rid of it, because what if I want to get it again later? Because I've done that before. I've got rid of books in the past and then regretted it and rebought them. And I'm just like, I don't want to run into that situation, especially when I do have plenty of storage room in the basement. But this is how this bookcase is looking so far. There's been a few changes since I made it, but not a lot. Some of these are books I like more than others, and I am considering swapping around a lot that are on display, because I've read so many more lately that haven't made it to my shelves, with them sort of being full. I could fit like a second row behind, but then I know it's better for books to have air, and I don't want mold and stuff, and you don't see them anyway. So I'm like, is it really any different having them stored in the basement? So this is kind of how they're looking so far. My Marie has got a bit squashed. I think the cats were playing in there earlier. But yeah, so this is kind of what it's like right now, but I think I do want to swap some books out and put others into storage and others on display. And then my other bookcase is looking like this. Have I shown you my little Kindle dragon? So obviously she's just flopped over, but I did get one of the Kindle cover dragons, which I think is so cute. You can like slide your Kindle in and keep it safe. So yeah, she just kind of hangs out on my little bookstore advent calendar. I just think it makes really nice decor. But yeah, this is how the other one is looking. Crescent City is still on my TBR, as is Kingdom of Ash. I really need to get on with it now that we have an announcement for Sarah J. Maas. I am so excited, so I need to keep reading. But I've just got so many books that I was like committed to already this month. But yeah, this is kind of how this shelf's looking. So this is, it's got more sort of like thrillers and stuff at the bottom, like a few of my more favorite ones, or series, because I think series look nicer displayed, and a few random books. But I feel like this could do with a little bit of a rejiggle as well. But I just have too many good series that I could display and want out. And that I love, so it's a little tricky. I do want to have a look at reorganizing everything. Yeah, we'll see where I get to. But I think I'm going to pause now and have lunch, because after my friend's call, it's obviously later than I thought it would be where I got to this point, and I'm really, really hungry. So I think I'm going to pause, have lunch, and then we'll head into the basement and go through the million books in there, which is a little bit of a task because I've got to get to the boxes. Okay, I've had lunch, which I had some nice crackers and garlic cheese bread. So I'm feeling a little bit better now, because I was just feeling so hungry. I was like, I need to eat. But welcome to my bedroom, because I remembered I have a few books piled up in here, because I did have them in the guest room, but we had someone stay the other weekend. So I ended up moving them all in just onto my dresser. So I'm going to turn you around so you can see. So yeah, there are a few books here. These are all the ones I've finished most recently, and my programs were musicals when I was back in the UK. And then I've got these ones. These ones are books that I generally kind of liked, and they were on my shelves, but I needed more space for a couple of the books I really wanted on the shelf. So they've kind of like recently just come off the shelves. I decided the new Brimstone and Quicksilver just don't look good together, and honestly, I'm not like a hugest fan of that series, so I was like, they don't need to be on display. And then these are some others that I read last year. Honestly, I feel like there is a few I can get rid of here. So hang on, let me attach the microphone to myself, and then I can talk and actually like use my hands here. Yeah, sorry if it doesn't sound quite as good with the microphone here. But yeah, I read this last year. I enjoyed it, but not enough that I would ever really think to read this again. It was something I got gifted from the publisher, a cute little collection of short stories, but nothing special. So I definitely feel like I can get rid of this one. I'm a little bit torn on Paris's autobiography, but I am doing a book bedazzling with my book club, and I kind of think that this could look kind of cool if I just like outline all the pink in glitter. It's kind of boring though, so I don't know. But I'm also not very good. that kind of thing. So I'm like, do I take this for a book bedazzling? I don't know. What else do I have? I want to keep that. Anything that's like an arc, I struggle to get rid of, which is where I fall into an issue with this one. Because I really didn't overall enjoy this book, and I don't think I want to continue with the series. But I did get gifted the arc from the publisher, and I'm like, do I get rid of it? I don't know. This one, Do Puddles Eat Ponies, I enjoyed reading, got gifted from the publisher, but I definitely think that can have a new home. But I do think my mom would really like that, and honestly, I should have taken it to the UK when I went there, but I didn't. But I do think that would be a good one for me to keep hold of and give to my mum when I'm next back in the UK. And then we've got these books. My Christmas ones definitely go away, they don't get displayed. Honestly, the Advent Romance, because it's obviously like ripped open, I'm like, who's gonna really want it? But I might just see if anyone wants it for next Christmas or something. I don't really know. Or do I donate it? Like it feels a bit awful because like the page is already open for the Advent, but then it's like it's still a book you can read, you know. The others I don't want to get rid of in this pile. And then at the back, I've got these. Again, some arcs and things I read. I mean, I didn't really enjoy this series, but I think I own the really nice sprayed edges, like nice versions of them. I'm probably just going to keep them, I'm not going to lie. And I kind of enjoyed the rest. I wasn't too keen on Alan Rickman Diaries, but I kind of have my whole like little Harry Potter section, so I think it would just go on the shelves there. So yeah, I definitely think there's a couple to get rid of here, but overall, I think I want to keep most of them. Okay, so we've made it down to the basement. I have several boxes of books down here. I have one very small one, which is like my favorite childhood books, which I am keeping. They are like my nostalgia, just like my handful of favorites of many, many books I read as a child. So they will be staying. Mainly horse series. I'm not gonna lie, I was a horse girl growing up. Saddle Club, Ginny, for those of you that may know some of these series. And then yeah, I have several other boxes. So I have one sort of huge tub here, and we can just go through a few, see what we're thinking. I definitely have some that I need to get rid of. That I don't even know why they made it over from the UK. I think I just sort of ran out of time and I just kind of boxed everything and was like, I'll just sort it out in the US, and still haven't got around to it until now. I know when I was doing my sort of organization of it last year, and we had all piles, if you saw that video of like me organizing everything out, I know I said, oh, I need to like definitely go through these and get rid of some, and I haven't. So it is time. I'm going to put the microphone on again. I know it doesn't sound as good, like the sound doesn't pick up right, especially on these new ones. They had like the same microphone I used to own, but I swear the other one was better. Although these get less of that rustly sound, I will say. So let's have a look through. I do think this box in particular might have quite a few that I can get rid of, because I feel like I've got quite a few from my teen years that I've somehow made it over that weren't memorable to me at all. Okay, so the first one I found was Nicola and the Viscount. This one is staying. This is a nostalgia. I loved Mechabo, and honestly, I would happily reread any of these. I actually reread this one, I think, last year, the year before. So yeah, anything by Mechabo is probably staying. This is a newer, like, adult novel that she started. I think this meant to be a series, but I don't know if the second part ever came out. But I enjoyed it enough that I think I'd consider carrying on with the series. Let me know if you know about this series. I have just realised quite a lot of this box is Meg Cabot, so yeah, maybe we're not getting rid of loads of this. Then there's this one, which is I'd Tell You I Love You, but then I'd Have to Kill You, by Ali Carter. I remember reading this when I was younger, but honestly not memorable, as I don't really remember anything about it. Probably not worth me keeping. Obviously didn't really leave much of an impression, so I feel like I can definitely get rid of this one. Then I have just found The Third Twin by Danny Sinclair. Now, this book, it's got one of those awful covers where you just assume it's going to be awful. I found it for like 50 cents in a sale when I was shopping in New York years ago, and I picked it up, and I actually only read it a few years ago, but I actually really enjoyed the story. So I'm a bit torn as to whether to keep this, because I think it is part of a series, and I haven't read the others, and I think it's like the Heart's Keeper series or something like that. So I don't know, because I did enjoy this, but I'm like, am I really going to invest and try and find the other books or anything? Yeah, and it seems a bit weird to keep it without doing that. So maybe we put this in like a maybe pile. And then there are a couple of Christmas arcs that I was given, which were cute little stories, but I just don't feel like I'll ever pick these up again. Especially, I think this one was my least favourite of the two. So I definitely think this one can have a new home. I kind of don't like rehoming arcs. I feel bad for some reason. But, you know, hopefully it gives everyone a festive read. And I think finding something like this in a free little library, you know, if I hold on to it and maybe put it out a little near Christmas, would be quite nice for someone because it's the kind of thing that maybe they want to reach for and read nearer the right season. This one I'm on the fence, so I'm going to put this in the maybe pile. I keep trying to keep my hair this way so it doesn't go on the microphone. Okay, the next one I've pulled out of there is Playground by Richard Powers, which is a newer book. Some of my new books kind of got thrown into some of these older boxes. I read this last year, but I really didn't enjoy the book, but it's really pretty. But I feel like this is quite a popular book, actually. It has a really good rating on Goodreads. I just didn't really like it. So I do think that someone will get some enjoyment out of this. And therefore, as I didn't really enjoy it, I should pass it on to someone else. I've also found Wishful Thinking by Melissa Hill, which is another book that I honestly didn't find very memorable. Like, I remember sort of enjoying reading this at the time, but it definitely hasn't really stuck with me. So I feel like this could be one to get rid of, but I did kind of like it, and I'm like, I don't really remember it, so should I like reread it first? I don't know. Let's put it in a maybe pile. Then we have Crystal by Katie Price. Terrible, I bought this. For those of you that don't know, Katie Price is a celebrity in the UK. At the time when she became popular and this was out, like she sort of won I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out Here on TV and things like that. And I was like, yeah, I gotta get her book. But I doubt she even wrote most of this, honestly. I don't remember it at all. So I definitely think this can go to a new home. Now, I do have this book, which has a Meg Cabot short story in, Stephanie Meyer's short story. And I'm a little torn on this one because I don't remember it, so I just don't feel like these short stories were that great. But because I keep like everything by Meg Cabot, I'm like, do I keep this? Don't I? I don't know. You know, I'm really unsure with this one. This can go in the maybe for now. Also in this box, there's just like a lot of random novels, but if I kind of remember the storylines, I feel like even if I read them a long time ago, I must have liked them enough. So I think they're worth keeping because maybe I'll just like pick them up one day when I want to reread something I can't really remember. Okay, this one. This is something I read when I was young, and I'll be honest, I don't remember it at all. It's Million Dollar Mates by Kathy Hopkins, so I definitely feel like this can have a new home. And then everything else left in the box are kind of nostalgia ones again, like books of Charmed, because I used to love Charmed as like my favorite TV show, so I have a few of the books. So I kind of just want to keep them because of how much I loved it. Again, kind of a nostalgia thing, and I'm probably a bit of a hoarder with that, I'm not gonna lie. But I feel like overall, over the years, like considering how many books I've read in my life, I really haven't kept hold of that many. Okay, I've had a little think. I'm gonna keep hold of this one because I don't remember them. Maybe I'll reread them sometime because like the collection of short stories is quite easy. So it's a potential reread, so I'll keep that one. Wishful Thinking, I don't remember it that well, so I think that can join the de-hauling pile because I have to get rid of some. I do. Even though, like I said, I've got plenty of storage down here, but it's more just like when I do eventually have more bookshelves, which ones am I really going to want to display, keep, feel like I will reread and like a genuinely books I love. I'll Be Gone for Christmas. I did enjoy it, but am I that likely to pick up another festive story? Because I feel like there's so many out there and I only read them certain times a year. So unless I like absolutely love them and really remember the story, it's probably not worth it. And I read this like last year and honestly I don't remember it very well. But I do remember enjoying this one. So like it's definitely not like a book I wouldn't recommend or anything. But I just, yeah. And you know what? I will also get rid of The Third Twin because even though I really enjoyed this book, I just feel like I'm very unlikely to pick it up again, and I don't think I'm going to be looking into getting the whole series. So I feel like this can go as well. So I've got another box here. They're a little bit heavy to lift into the camera. This one's a little bit more awkward because I feel like a lot of these are books I used to study with, and as a result, I'm like, I don't really need them anymore. But I don't really want to throw them away, and they're not the kind of thing that people are just going to really want, I don't think. Some of them are definitely more like nostalgia books, like I have Hilke's Diary. I did read this. It was my granddad's. I gifted it to him because he used to love reading stuff about the war, and I gifted this to him once, and he kept it as well as like an old Christmas card that I'd written my granddad one time, and a picture I'd drawn him, and my nan gave me this back when he passed away. And so like that's why obviously I like hold on to things like this. So a lot of this is like studying things or nostalgia in this box. So it's definitely harder to go through. Like it's ridiculous. I even have like study guides from when I was studying at like high school and sixth form college. So I'm like, why do I have these? I don't need them. But like who's gonna want these and what do I do with them? And then I feel bad. Like I don't want to like trash books. I don't want to throw them away. And I just don't feel like anyone's going to want these. Like, I don't want to leave these in a free little library and be like, yeah, enjoy studying these books that you probably don't even study these days. You know? So, like, I don't need them, but what do I do with them? Honestly, a lot of the other study guides in here are all to do with performing and performance. And even though I teach singing specifically now, I mean, performance is always good. And I doubt I will often refer to any of these, but I do feel like I could. And then this is a book which has a poem of mine published in it. And they used to do this as like local schools would like write in, and some of your poems would get published. So yeah, mine's in here. Do you want to hear it? So from memory, my school gave us like a few different topics we could write a poem on, and one of them was about darkness or nighttime. So I wrote a poem called Nighttime. So I think it was that, or you could do the theme of Somewhere in Our School Today. But I chose Nighttime, and this was the poem I come up with, which is: Night came creeping in, wearing a black cloak, sneaking past windows and floating through the air, tiptoeing past the doors. Stars twinkle above the houses in the night sky, whilst the dark cloak sails by. The night says, "Go to sleep with this little mouse." So yeah, that was what I came up with when I was 10. So yeah, that was a nice little bit of nostalgia there. Okay, then we have another box, which is slightly larger than the other ones. But again, I think I'm going to struggle with this one because a lot of what's in here are plays. So I did a drama and literature degree, so I did end up with a lot of books, and obviously not always ones I'd buy. And the issue I have with my plays is, honestly, I genuinely enjoyed most of these, but like, I don't know why I picked them up again. But I just have such a great collection. I'm like, if I did have a library, I can have a little play section, and then people can like pick stuff up and act scripts out. I mean, I don't know why they ever would, but in case. And also in here, I have a lot of classics, a lot of classic books, and I feel like I should give some of them another chance at some point. I try to insert a classic or two at least each year back into my reading and reread, because honestly at university I got very burnt out of reading. I didn't enjoy much. Honestly, some of these I didn't even properly read. I like skimmed through and looked up the cliff notes on them and just like the summaries. So I feel like I should give some of them a bit of a chance again at some point. So they're not really things that I want to get rid of, but let me have a little rummage and see. Okay, yeah, to be honest, I think I'm just gonna keep this box because it's all my more academic classics, that kind of thing. And I do feel like a lot of these do deserve a reread at some point. And I don't want to get like rid of any of my like Shakespeare collection or anything like that. And quite a lot of those other plays like Arthur Miller, etc. I really actually enjoyed them. And then I do actually have one more box, but I'm not going to get that out because it's buried at the bottom of all of my boxes over there, and it's going to take me forever. And I know what's in that one. It's all my sort of favorite series from when I was a bit younger. It's got Twilight, Hunger Games, the Mortal Instruments, and everything like that in there. So I definitely wanted to get out at some point because I actually kind of want to reread some of that stuff at some point, actually. But the trouble is there's so much I want to reread, and there's so much I actually want to read that I've never read. But I feel like we've done okay. So I'm gonna sort this back out, and then I'll go back upstairs, bring you with me, and we'll go through exactly what I'm getting rid of. Okay, we are back up in my office. I feel like I've done pretty good considering like I do have room to just store everything. So it's not like it's pressing to get rid of stuff, but I just feel like there is no point keeping hold of books that I just don't like, and I may as well let someone else enjoy them. I also noticed my Hunger Games series is actually on my shelves up here. I obviously already took that out, but basically everything in that box downstairs is all my series. I loved a lot of the vampire series like Morganville Vampires, the Marked, is it like House of Night series? I read all of those when I was younger, so I have all of them stored, and they are not ones I want to get rid of. So let's go through, see how many books I am managing to de-haul. So we've got Do Puddles Eat Ponies? As I said, I'm probably just going to like keep hold of this and gift it to my mom next time I'm there. The Wishing Quilt. I've just decided, yes, The Irresistible Urge to Fulfill Your Enemy, because I didn't really enjoy it, and I do feel like a lot of people want to read this. I will gift my arc to someone. A Heart for Christmas, the sort of Advent Christmas story. I thought it was cute for what it was. It's nothing special, and I feel a bit bad because like the pages just didn't rip, so it's kind of bad quality. But I'm like, if you're picking it up for free, maybe someone will enjoy it. Playground by Richard Powers, really really nice hardback book, but I just didn't enjoy it. Got Wishful Thinking by Melissa Hill. I'll Be Gone for Christmas by Georgia K. Boone. The Third Twin by Dee Sinclair. The Most Wonderful Time by Jane Allen. I Tell You I Love You But I'd Have to Kill You by Ali Carter. $1 Million Mates by Kathy Hopkins. Crystal by Katie Price. 3 study guides, which I am counting as books because, I could easily hog them and just keep them. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 books that I'm committed to getting rid of. And then I have the ones from my TBR, which I'm going to give everyone a chance to tell me to keep or not, and what you think I should do with them. So these won't be going anywhere yet, but potentially they're going to add on to there, which would make 19 books, which I feel is a good amount considering, I genuinely do pick out books I really enjoy. So now the task is I just want to kind of rearrange my shelves a little bit and probably take off some of the ones that aren't my favorites. And honestly, I feel like kind of displaying series and stuff a little bit more because I think it just looks a little bit nicer on the shelf. Even if they're not matching, actually, I just feel like it still is quite nice to have them all together. And of course, I now have a little bit more room in my boxes downstairs, so I can start transferring books into those boxes so that, they're not just left around the house so much. And I think I'm just gonna post in my book clubs if anyone wants any of these. So I'm just gonna take a few photos, post them up there, and then yeah, let's have a look at the shelves. Okay, at the moment I have made very, very minimal changes. Kind of went for a little bit of a color thing at the edge with just some of like my more random books, and then ones where I have like multiple authors, they're kind of together. But yeah, I still want to do more, and I wish I had more room to display more for sure, because I think like my standalones and stuff could really use their own space. And I tried to do a bit of genre stuff. Like, I'm honestly debating soon just putting my classics out of this room. I thought it looked nice to have a few classics, and they're like my favorite ones. But yeah, and like my biographies, I'm thinking I might just take those sections out. Honestly, might move Marie to create a little bit more space, put some more series as I read them, because I have a lot that I'm in the middle of and that I'll finish soon. And then here I've just had a little bit of a rejig. I've got a gap there now, but I know I'm going to be getting more Sarah J. Maas books up there very soon, and hopefully I can get them all to fit on one shelf. But I'm not convinced. By the time we get everything, I might have to split her books around. But this is kind of where we're at right now. But like, I've got another Ariel Sullivan soon. We're gonna have the second Night in the Moth. So like, it's all gonna have to have a bit of a rejig. And I'm honestly thinking of keeping my shelves a little bit more like fancy and romance, because they're probably what I read the most. Although I do quite like, a few of my thrillers and stuff. But so there we have it. I feel like I've had a good overall day of reorganizing. I mean, when I put the time together, I probably spent a few hours going through everything, just having a look, moving things around. I could have done better with the unhaul, I'm not gonna lie, but I feel like it's a good start for someone like me who really holds onto things, to have committed to already 15 books plus potentially another 4. And I feel like there's a few others around that could end up joining it next time I look through and decide to do an unhaul. But there are books that I'm just like not sold on, because there's some where I'm like, I kind of liked it. Do I continue a series? But if I don't continue it, I probably will get rid of the first books. So yeah, we will see. But I feel like this was a good start. I feel like an unhaul makes you feel good. So yeah, I've offered it in my book club chat, a few of the books, and then I will go down to the free little library sometime soon and hope there's room for me to put 1 or 2 at least in there and slowly sort of filter them through. Or maybe I'll just offer them for free on Facebook Marketplace and see if anyone wants them. But what's really cool is, quite a few of them are British editions, and they'll be around America now. So I don't know, I think that's kind of neat. But anyway, I hope you have enjoyed this video. Hopefully you seeing my struggle to unhaul things has inspired you a little to at least organize and go through your books as well. And I will see you again real soon. Bye!